Good morning, good afternoon, and good night. You're watching Just a Mom, The Sims. I'm KT, and I'm here today to tell you about all of my adventures. So if you like to have fun and you like a good story, please consider liking, subscribing, following, commenting. Just do all the free things. The first series that I want to talk about is my Herd Family Legacy series. Yes, this is a Sims 4 generation story, and we are in Generation 3. Gen 3 started with the triplets, and you can see them here. Leland, Carmen is our star in the center, and Liliana is the last of the triplets. Growing up, Carmen and Liliana were as close as could be, but Liliana was always spoiled, and that started to change into a jealousy. So we saw some signs of trouble early on because as teenagers, Liliana actually stole her sister Carmen's boyfriend, or who she hoped would be her boyfriend, because Carmen was more introverted. Time went by and everything was forgotten. Liliana and Carmen decided to be roommates in a tiny duplex in Willow Creek. Everything was good, or kind of good, until Carmen met Davion. She fell in love with him, and Liliana instantly got jealous and decided she wanted him. Liliana started showing up where he was, hanging out with him, inviting him out, and Davion did not have the self-esteem that he needed to be a good man. And so Liliana was able to slide in, and the woohoo ensued. They woohooed, and oops, consequences occurred. Liliana became pregnant. Even though she hates children, Carmen found out, and everything blew up. Their sistership, the relationships, everything. Their parents, Lena and KA, tried to intervene, but it was far too late. Liliana was already pregnant, and Liliana didn't want to hear what they had to say anyway. So she had the baby. She still hated children, so she decided to leave the baby with her sister, Carmen. And did I mention she also took all of their household simoleons? So here Carmen was on a political career with a new baby. She took her niece in, she adopted her, she grew to love her completely, and she raised her with love, and she raised her in respect. And she eventually met Caden, who is her brother Leland's best friend. Carmen and her brother are very close. They have other siblings as well. Her brother's best friend, Caden, turned out to be a great guy. He loved Carmen correctly. He loved Mila correctly. They have since gotten married and made their family whole, and they actually had two more children in addition to Mila. So Carmen is now at the top of the political career after working super hard, but her job is demanding. And so Caden is a house husband. He takes care of the children, he takes care of the house, and he takes care of Carmen. But Liliana and Davion's story was not over because they kept seeing each other on and off for years. And one day Davion proposed to Liliana. She said yes, only to call off the wedding later. You have to see that episode if you have not. It's called Stop the Wedding. In the meantime, Carmen and Caden have formed a peaceful and loving household. Mila has recently asked about her birth parents, and that's where we are currently. Mila is meeting Davion, her biological father, and she is trying to meet Liliana, her biological mother, because she has questions. Our Legacy series is a long-running series, so hang around with me from generation to generation. Jumping over to our next series, it is a conclusionary series, so it will come to an end one day, but we are still early in the series. It is called Unfaithful. Unfaithful stars Jamie Hart, and his best friend Nia takes center stage at first. They have been best friends since childhood. They love each other. Nia had secret feelings. Nia is an introvert. She is also an artist. She finally got her nerve together to at least put some flirty vibes out there with her best friend because she feels like he's a good catch. She knows that she needs to step outside of her normal reservations as far as her own characteristics to be able to be with him. She thinks they can be a happy family. Jamie is an art critic, and at work, he met a fellow critic, and her name is Blake. And Blake is beautiful, but she is the opposite of Nia. In addition to being beautiful, she is bold, she is outgoing, and she goes for what she wants, and she wants Jamie. Jamie could not resist the allure of Blake because she is a beautiful spirit, just like Nia is a beautiful spirit. So Jamie starts to do what you probably shouldn't do and romance both women. women. Nia agrees to be in a temporary love triangle until he can figure it out, but not for long. Jamie proceeds to go about this the wrong way, and he proceeds to see both of the women, and he bases this on a lie. And it ends up hurting everybody involved because all of their feelings get entangled and they all seem happy until it blows up. And one day, Nia comes to Jamie and discloses that she is pregnant. Jamie is engaged to Blake at this point. Blake doesn't know what's going on. So where will this story end? Because right now we have fallen into an unintentional love triangle. There's only one way to know how it ends, and that is to subscribe and watch and find out. My next series is a long running series, and it is called 90 Day Fiancé, Sims 4 edition. So we are here in season 5. Every season is a new couple, it's a new love story. Sometimes not so much of a love story, but we have had more couples that survived than more couples that split. So we are winning. But this season is different because we are starting with Roman Wu. Roman is one sim. Normally we start with 2, and we're going to start with the single life edition. Roman had a hard backstory, and we did that in a prequel episode number 1. We see Roman's happy childhood with his mom and his dad, and it was pretty normal, a little small family in Windenburg until tragedy struck. And you can see that in the very first episode. We see the tragedy, we see everything that happens. But he was taken in by the only relative they could get in contact with at the time, his great grandmother, Shelley, who was horrible. She hated children. She hated families. She was a mean sim and evil, and his confidence and self-esteem is suffered. But I don't like to tell a story that doesn't have hope. In stepped his uncle, his mother's brother, Carter. He found out that his sister passed. He had been deployed into the sim military. He had been a world traveler. So though he was close to his sister, their contact was sporadic. So once he found out, he swooped in and got his nephew Roman. He got him counseling. He gave him love. He gave him patience and kindness. And they moved to Sulani. From there, that is where Roman grew up. So Roman has decided, because of his childhood, that he wants to find love and he wants to help other people find love. And the best way to do that is for him and his uncle to move to Ciudad Enamorada and to become a romance consultant. Roman and his uncle Carter are now there in Ciudad Enamorada, and you will have to see where his story goes, because we will go from 90 Day the single life to the regular 90 Day to probably a little bit of 90 Day Happily Ever After, Sims 4 edition, of course. The 4th series that I'm currently running is called Stolen Love. In this stolen love adventure, we are starting with Case and Atina. They started off living in Oasis Springs, renting out a part of a mansion. They both had dreams of doing something bigger. Atina wanted a family. She wanted to have some financial success. She was primarily focused on family, while Case had dreams of striking it rich. He is a criminal. That's right. He's on the criminal career track. He does break-ins. He does all of these things. And even though the couple started off happy, Case abruptly moved them to Strangerville because he had almost got caught in Oasis Spring because he had been robbing their neighbors. Tina, looking for what to do there, stumbled across the Strangerville mystery. She is now currently the hero of Strangerville. She fought the mother plant while pregnant with everything that she had, and she won. She has now resurrected her, and the mother plant has been helping her out financially. They actually have a great relationship now, but Atina didn't ride this high for long, because soon after she caught Case stealing. He was picking the pocket of one of his friends, and she caught him breaking into a home. And she could not live with that because Atina has a high moral compass where Case does not. But she never knew that. She was actually thinking that Case was up to something, and that's how she got into the Strangerville mystery, but she never would have guessed that he was a thief. So she did what she had to do, and she left him. She was not happy. She was a very sad sim, and she also was a house mom. So what was she gonna do? She even talked to Case about it. They cried together, but ultimately he refused to change at that point in time. So she moved out to Henford on Bagley to a tiny home. She has a sister, Halia. She came through. She gave her pep talks. She helped pick her sister up, and then her sister used the cross stitching and knitting and canning skills that she had to start a home shelf hustle and make her own way. So Tina finally found the strength within herself. And around this same time, she was bonding with her children because right after she moved out, with the one child that they had together, she found out she was already pregnant with another. So, oh my goodness. But she's focused on raising her children right now. But Case has decided that he needs to get his family back because he loves the children very much. He loves Atina very much, but he's still wanting to be a not so smooth criminal. So Case has decided to lie to Atina and date her and woo her. He's lying by saying he's out of the criminal career track and he's trying to get her back. Will Atina go back to Case? I don't know. There's only one way to find out. Check out the series. That's all of my currently running series. However, I want to talk to you about an honorable mention. I have another long running series called the whims-based series. It is currently paused. It will be back with the season 3, but I want to talk to you about season 2, and that is A Twist of Fate. It started with Desmond Twist and his fiancée, Michelle Duran. They grew up together in Tamarang, and they had a bevy of friends and family surrounding them, and they had known each other from childhood because they grew up together. Well, they were engaged, happily so, and decided to get married. But behind the scenes, Michelle had a tragedy. Desmond knew about the tragedy because she had come down with a very rare cowplant flu. And so from there, she found some devastating news. And instead of being honest with her friend and lover, she got scared and ran from the wedding, leaving Desmond deserted at the altar. She never went into the church. Desmond was so hurt by this that he took solitude away from his dad and friend. He went to San Salvador and he immersed himself in the culture and the people and found healing, but he also found treasure. And with that treasure, he built the Tranquility Hotel. He made his living there. He met a new woman who was a woohoo partner, pretty cold lady, but they end up engaged to Harley Huddleston. She grew up rich, a little privileged. She wasn't a bad sim, just a little different. Though Desmond did not want anything serious with her, he made poor decisions. Now, in the meantime, Michelle's grandmother who raised her, Mother Frances, I loved her. She was being a little mischievous and a little meddlesome. She tricked Michelle into going to the Tranquility Resort. There, Michelle reconnected with the love of her life, Desmond. Even though they were determined to just be friends from there, it quickly grew into the old chemistry, the old love that they always had. But Desmond was already engaged to Harley as well. What ended up happening was Michelle got pregnant. Desmond was with Harley, who also got pregnant. The story implodes from there. So you have to see Desmond and Michelle's story because it's full of twists and turns, and it has a beautiful finale. So if you want to see a story from beginning to end, this whims-based series is the way to go. That is all the series that I want to talk about today. I'm KT, and this is Just the Mom That Sims. And until next time, remember, keep simming, be happy, and always have a blessed day. Bye-bye.